Did you guys see what's going on with Ken Paxton? Did anyone keep up with what's been happening with Texas's Attorney General, Ken Paxton? What's been going on there? Because it seems like nobody can find him anymore because he's on the run. Breaking: Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, has fled his home in a truck driven by his wife. His wife is a state senator, Angela Paxton. The Attorney General of Texas has fled to avoid being served a subpoena. And so now he's just gone. He's running. He's on the run from prosecutors so he doesn't get subpoenaed. It is incredible. It is incredible what's going on. An affidavit process server said that the state's top attorney tried to evade him as he attempted to deliver a subpoena from an abortion fund lawsuit against the state. This attorney general fled his home in a truck driven by his wife. They're like goddamn Bonnie and Clyde running from the law. To avoid being served a subpoena on Monday, according to an affidavit filed in federal court. Herrera, a process server, was attempting to serve the state's top prosecutor with a subpoena for a federal court hearing Tuesday in the lawsuit from nonprofits that want to help Texans pay for abortions out of state. Later on Monday, Paxton filed two requests: a motion to squash the subpoena and another to seal the certificate of service, which included the affidavit from the process server. His lawyers argue that the server loitered at the attorney general's home for over an hour and repeatedly shouted at him and accosted Paxton and his wife. Wait, so they were there? He was there for an hour trying to give you the subpoena that you legally have to take, and then so they knew that the guy was there, but then they fucking hopped in a truck and ran. U.S. District Judge Pittman granted both requests earlier Tuesday after the affidavit had been published. Oh my goodness. When Herrera arrived at Paxton's home, McKinney, on Monday morning, he told a woman who identified herself as Angela that he was trying to deliver legal documents. Nearly an hour later, a black Chevrolet Tahoe pulled into the driveway, and 20 minutes after that, Ken Paxton exited the house. I walked up the driveway approaching Mr. Paxton and called him by name. As soon as he saw me and heard me call his name out, he turned around and ran back inside the house through the same door as the garage. Booked it. You spooked him. You spooked him. A few minutes later, I saw Mr. Paxton ran in the garage towards the rear door of the driver's side, Herrera wrote. I approached the truck and loudly called him by name and said that I had court documents for him. Mr. Paxton ignored me and kept heading for the truck. It's clear that the media wants to drum up another controversy involving my work as Attorney General, so they're attacking me and having the audacity to avoid the stranger lingering outside my house, and shown concern for the safety and well-being for my family. That's why I ran when they said that I had that I was going to be, that they had an affidavit for me for court. That's why. I was scared. I was spooked.
Hog.
Oh my goodness. Holy, this is incredible. I've heard of running from the law, but this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. It's like if I keep running, then it's not possible for them to catch me. They can't serve me with a subpoena. The cops can't catch a blur, they say.
An abortion's right battle is going to play out in the Texas courtroom later this morning. Hearing set for just a few hours from now.
That is as a new report says the state's attorney general ran from his home to keep from being served a subpoena in this case.
It's a developing story, so I want to bring in Marvin to sort out what...
Just so you know, he is the top attorney of the entire state. Like, all the stuff that the state level, all the state level stuff goes through his office. So this is a lawsuit on the state. And so him and his office started this. Like, he decided to go and attack like reproductive health providers, and Greg Abbott decided to investigate trans people and shit like that. And now he's running from the consequences of his own actions, having to go up in court and defend why you did what you did.
we know so far, Marvin. And first of all, let's start with the court case itself.
All right, first things first, Texas-based abortion rights advocates have filed a lawsuit.
Why is this guy dressed like why is this guy dressed like he's like an executive at Standard Oil? this guy is dressed like he's he's like a high up bigwig at like Carnegie Steel. This guy works at Rockefeller, man. Well, what the heck is this?
In federal court today in Austin, they want the court to declare Texas's trigger law unconstitutional. They also want a restraining order so that they're not prosecuted for the work that they do. The abortion activists worry state legislation will prevent them from funding abortions.
Avoid a subpoena. Reportedly here tried to avoid a subpoena relating to this hearing. What do we know about that?
This is the part that's a little dramatic. So we are learning this information from a signed affidavit filed in court and published by the Texas Tribune. A process server says he was trying to deliver a subpoena relating to this lawsuit to Paxton's home yesterday. But according to the affidavit, Paxton refused to receive the legal documents. The process server says he saw Paxton running and getting into a truck before driving away with his wife, who is Senator Angela Paxton.
So what's Paxton saying about all of this, Marvin?
Oh, he is definitely reacting this morning. Paxton responded to that report in a tweet late last night. He called it, quote, a ridiculous waste of time. He went on to say in a separate tweet, quote, it is clear that the media wants to drum up another controversy involving my work as Attorney General. So they are attacking me for having the audacity to avoid a stranger lingering outside of my home and showing concern about the safety and well-being of my family, end quote. Now, we need to point out that the server says that he identified himself to a woman named Angela nearly 90 minutes before the Paxtons drove off. Of course, we're going to be following the situation.
That's incredible. And like the thing is that this isn't the first time Ken Paxton has been in trouble with the law, because he committed fraud.
Today, Texas top law enforcement.
Just so you know, I'm sorry. This is 7 years ago. So this is 2015. This isn't any. So he committed fraud, and he's still not going to trial for like the fraud that he committed. And so maybe that's why he was running. He thought that finally his luck had run out. But yeah, Ken Paxton's been a bad guy. He's been a bad dude for a hot minute now.
Today, Texas top law enforcer found himself on the other side of the law. Attorney General Ken Paxton surrendered to authorities in Collin County to face 3 felony charges, including fraud. The Attorney General smiled as he took his booking photo at the Collin County Jail.
What a piece of shit. Look at that, like, white-collar crime shit-eating grin smile. My good. Can you make yourself look more, like, despicable? Can you make yourself look more evil? He does look like he drunk drove his way over there.
And there's something missing in this picture that has some wondering if he got special treatment. Fox 4's Richard Ray live at the Collin County Courthouse with details. Rich.
Good evening, Clarice. This was all kind of reminiscent of what we saw a year ago in Austin when Governor Perry was indicted, but then all again different. Governor Perry came out, embraced the cameras, surrounded by his cheering supporters. He vowed that he would fight and beat the charges. Today, we never saw or heard anything from Ken Paxton. Fingerprinted, photographed, booked, bonded out, then whisked away, never appearing before the throng of journalists who waited outside. A judge ordering Collin County not to use its standard towel around the neck in Paxton's mugshot, suit and tie, and confident smile. Later, Paxton's attorney released a short statement. Ken Paxton, Joe Kendall writes, will plead not guilty. He is looking forward to the opportunity to tell his side of the story in the courtroom. Among the allegations is that Paxton encouraged investment in Servergy Incorporated, a tech startup and commercial server company, under investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Servergy is an engine, an acceleration engine, an innovation engine.
Paxton has listed himself as a shareholder in McKinney-based Servergy. He now faces 2 counts of first-degree securities fraud and a lesser charge of failing to register with state regulators. In the middle of last year's heated Republican primary, Paxton admitted to violating securities law by not disclosing that he was receiving commissions for referring law clients. He paid a $1,000 fine and chalked it up as an oversight. Dallas attorney Ted Steinke has served as a special prosecutor in other cases involving elected officials.
Incredible. Just a little bit of insider trading. Just using my position to enrich myself unjustly through my public position. You know how it goes. What can you do?